TVET training has in store for the youthful population in the country. And as we're having this discussion, remember, not each and every Class 8 pupil who did their previous 2020 Kenya Certificate of Primary Education had the chance of joining high school. So is there a way these TVETs can actually help them realize their dreams? We'll have an all-round conversation on this, and joining me right here in studio to help us deliberate on these matters and more, I'm joined by Dickson Inyambuhu, who's from the Orthodox College of Africa. He's a registrar right there. I'm equally joined via way of Zoom by Professor Romanus Odhiambo, who's a Vice Chancellor at Meru University, which is a technical and vocational education and training accredited university. I'm equally joined by Yusufu Ongeri, who's a Center Director at the Nanyuki Vocational Training Center in Laikipia County. Gentlemen, many thanks for your time. So let's have this conversation. And I'll begin with you, Dickson, perhaps taking a look at the ambitious goal of 100% transition when it comes to moving from various levels of education. Do you think there's a way that TVETs can actually plug in and help when it comes to those who aren't fortunate enough to transition to the next level of education? Is there a way, or it's only reserved to those who have finished Form 4? Perhaps let's start from there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Rogers. As I have said that I'm Dickson Inyambuhu from Orthodox College of Africa under the patronage of Bishop Macarius. So we don't ask if there is a way. Already we have a way.
Yes.
Because if you look at education, first of all, the education is the process of imparting knowledge, skills, attitudes, and positive values to learners. So when you start from there, when you look at TVET itself, TVET has got, we have vocational and we have technical part.
Okay, allow me to cut you short, Dickson. We'll definitely come back with you. But even as we do that, let's hear the emphasis of this other panelist as well. Prof, good morning to you, and thanks for joining us. Looking at the numbers that make it to institutions of higher learning, correct me if I'm wrong, less than a fifth of the students actually head to university. So this might be a challenge. Talk to me when it comes to this deliberate move, perhaps, to have more people engage in skills rather than theory training, resulting in white-collar jobs. Is this shift quite appropriate, looking at the numbers that actually make it to institutions of higher learning?
Thank you very much. Once again, good morning, Kenyans. My name is Professor Romanus Odhiambo, the Vice Chancellor of Meru University of Science and Technology. It's a pleasure really to talk with you this morning on the issue of TVET training. Meru University of Science and Technology is started as a diploma and a certificate awarding institution. It used to be called MECOTEC. And we've done this for over 30 years, mainly in agriculture, engineering, and sciences. And it's very important that for every 100 students that do well in Form 4, that do Form 4, the KCSE, only about 20% are able to get C+ and above, they come to the universities. The greater majority, almost 80%, get less than C+. But that does not mean that they fail. These are responsible Kenyan children. These are responsible sharp children. And these are people who just did not get a C+ just because sometimes they are sick, sometimes because of the circumstances in which they went to school. And in any case, the exam is only done just 2 weeks after a long, long time. So does it mean they have no future? The answer is there is a lot of future. That's why in the TVET institutions like Meru University of Science and Technology, where we have a TVET institute, we offer the diplomas and the certificates in the engineering, agriculture. It can all be seen in our website. It is meant really to cushion and to give hope to these many of our Kenyan children. And I want to tell you, Kenyans, that there is no failure in the 844. There is no failure in the new system. It's only that you can decide where you want to go. And TVET institution, TVET qualification, TVET training offer opportunities for these, our beautiful and handsome girls and daughters who have done Form 4, who can actually access. And in any case, panelists and fellow Kenyans, the Kenyan government has decentralized many of the activities to the counties. The Big Four agenda has brought in so many responsibilities that requires a lot of qualification at lower level for people who are using their hands, their abilities, their skills, and the knowledge. And I can tell you last week I was in the village and I had a puncture. There was nobody even to mend for me a puncture. I also had a power blackout. There was electrical problem in the house. There was nobody really to come and mend for me this electrical problem. These are the things that can now be done not only in Nairobi, but always everywhere in the whole country.
VC, thanks for your contribution. So let's cross over to Yusufu Ongeri. There seems to be higher enrollment to TVET institutions as compared to previous years. Is this by design or default? And what's appealing to these young minds at the TVET institutions? What can you pin your finger on in terms of the appealing factor?
I think, in the past few years, we have seen a situation where the government is placing more emphasis on vocational training.
Yeah.
Probably because of they have realized it's an alternative avenue through which you can now be able to provide opportunities for these young people. And again, this deliberate effort, of course, through the TVET Act of 2013, you realize there has been a deliberate investment in these technical institutions. It's okay now? A deliberate effort to invest in these technical institutions so that they can be able to provide opportunities for the young people, acquire skills. Probably talk a little bit about Nanyuki Vocational Training Center. Nanyuki Vocational Training is a very old institution in Laikipia County. I think actually it started in 1969 as a village institution, technical institution. It has grown over the years up to where it has reached. It's one of the leading technical institutions, a vocational center in Nanyuki, in Laikipia County generally. And a lot of people have passed through this institution. And many of them have been successful in various fields, in various skill areas they have gone through in this institution. So yes, as you said, vocational training is the way to go. People over the years have talked about, we have always tried to incline ourselves to the formal system of training, where you go up to Form 4, then go to college, university, and then get a job. But now, because of the shrinking space in the job market, you realize now, people are beginning to realize, we have been ignoring a very important area, which really needs to be capitalized on so that you can be able to provide opportunities for these young people. And there are so many opportunities, so many benefits that young people can be able to acquire by going through vocational training so that they can be able to acquire the necessary competencies to be able to compete in the present competitive world.
Okay, well noted, Yusufu. Thanks for your contribution. So back to you, Dixon. Yeah. Earlier on, I had interrupted you. Perhaps as you finish off on that particular point on whether the opportunity is there for this Class 8 individuals who aren't able to proceed to Form 1, is there an opportunity in TVET? And according to me, success of TVETs would be if I choose to join a TVET, not necessarily because I've been placed, you get? So is this the case right now where students actually prefer going to TVET first before proceeding to universities to get or to pursue their areas of interest? Talk to us, Dixon.
Thank you so much. As I was saying earlier, that at Orthodox College of Africa, we have really majored in these TVET courses. And you look at education, the way TVET has crafted its way of coming out with a structured, equipped young Kenyan. You look at it, it has got two parts. We have vocational part of it and we have training, technical part of it. When we look at technical part of it, we are looking at the skills. This is our practical skills. Mm-hmm. When we look at vocational, vocational has got both practical skills and it has got theory part of it. So when you look at us as humans, we have got these parts which are in us. There are some of us who are very good in practical, there are those who can combine the two. So what we are saying that, and if you look at these skills, they come in a set of 4. This set of 4, we have got the first set dealing with cognitive skills. So look at cognitive skills, it has got problem-solving issues, it has got acquisition of skills to survive in the environment. Then we have socio-economic part of it. Socio-economic part of it bring socio-emotional. Socio-emotional part of it is dealing with the, when it comes to our personal and social interaction with the environment. And for you to bring up a very complete person, apart from giving the skills, which are cognitive part of it, you need also to bring social part of it. How can we survive in the environment? Because our environment is changing each and every time. Like if you look at the technology today, we are here having this very good model of an equipment. Tomorrow afternoon, we have got something else. So we need to have that knowledge which is equipping these young people with the changing environment, which will help them to succeed in the environment we have. Then we have the technical part of it. These are the skills which are given out to students and to young Kenyans. So when you are in this environment, how will you survive? And how can you make something for you? How will you be independent? Then we have the digital part of it, which is the last part of that set. And the digital part of it will depend on the ones I've mentioned. That is cognitive, social, social, emotional, then you look at technical part of it. So there's a place for every young Kenyan who is here because we are in this system now to live and to help in the building of the nation. So the government has crafted the TVET courses into a more formidable group so that each and everyone will get something. Because if you look at the courses, there are so many. Mr. Rogers, we have got 278 courses, and we have got around 2,791 institutions as per 2019. So with all this, every young person and every Kenyan has got something which he or she can give to this nation and also be independent and help in the building of the economy of this nation.
Okay, so there's space under the TVETs, and I get this. So, Prof, I think the next logical question would be, are there jobs for this TVETers, if I can use that word? Are there partnerships with job creators in the offing, be it manufacturers, to ensure that these trained skills are relevant to the needs of the country? Are there these structures in place to ensure the highest levels of productivity from the individuals leaving TVET institutions?
Thank you very much. Once again, I want to reiterate that Mary University of Science and Technology is a TVET registered institution. Besides offering the degree programs, we also offer the TVET programs, which you can see in our website, but later on I'll talk about them. The issue about TVET is basically to link students to jobs, but very importantly to link students to being job creators themselves and also being entrepreneurial. And all the curriculum is designed in such a way that those objectives are met. We have linkages with industry, we have linkages with even farms for my students doing agriculture. We have linkages with all kinds of people, so that the students, as they are trained, they go for attachment, they go for internship, they go for placement in some other place, community engaged learning is really integrated in this. And the process when Odhiambo graduates in one of them, if he is lucky, as most of my students are always lucky, they get jobs, especially the diploma students, they go and do the job after being trained. But if they don't get the jobs, then they have also been trained to be entrepreneurial. They can create their own jobs depending on the kind of training that they have been given. If as a mechatronic engineer, he can design his own mechatronic engineering work that he can do there and sell himself out there. If he's an automotive engineer, they do well. They do a lot of things all over. You walk in the country, they can get fixed up in the places where cars are being made. If they are agricultural people, they can get linked to the horticultural farms that they're employed there. Or more importantly, every Kenyan, even you I'm talking to right now, be it in the KTN studio or the whole Kenyans at your home, you have eaten breakfast this morning. You have taken VSC, you have taken Morunduma, you have taken, maize or bananas and all this. And all these things, somebody has to grow them. In the lunch, you'll be eating Sumawiki, you'll be eating Managu, everything. But somebody must grow them. My agriculture students have been trained in such a way that They can actually, if there is no job, then they get involved in agribusiness, they get involved in this kind of farming so that they can sell. So yes, there is more versatility in terms of getting a job in training than even in this formal training that really encourages nothing else but formal knowledge acquisition. Thank you, sir.
Okay, well noted, Vice Chancellor, right there. So, Yusufu, perhaps as you add your voice in terms of how these TVET institutions enhance access to the formal or informal jobs industry, I'd assume that training TVETers was a challenge during COVID-19. Ask me how. You're teaching practical skills, and some of this are acquired through learning by doing. So, due to the disruptions brought about by COVID-19, how exactly to ensure that these TVETers are not underhanded in any way in terms of teaching these practical skills? Because you can't do it online, can you?
Yeah, of course. Yes, you are right. During this pandemic, there's really disrupted our programs. But what happened actually over the period of this pandemic is that we had to come up with new ways of trying to link with our students. Remember, during this period of time, the schools were not open, the colleges were not open. But because of that long period of time that they had to stay at home, we had to devise a new method of ensuring that we are able to link up with our students and then try to mentor them in their own specific area of specialization, and try to encourage them and mentor them and grow in the specific areas that they're learning. Now, we, thank God, over this period of time, we had to link up with the other organizations like KPI, Kenya Youth Empowerment Institute, which helped us to come up with a learning management information system whereby we could be able to link up with our students who are at home through their emails, so that you can now be able to continually do the instructions while they were at home. Now, I really want to talk something small about vocational training. Vocational training is a small, as one panel said, there's a small difference, a specific difference between technical training and vocational training. Here in the Nanyuki Vocational Training Center, we tend to focus on a specific skill. For instance, let me give you an example. For instance, automotive engineering is a course, is a huge course. If you really want to do automotive engineering, you have to take not less than 4 years to be able to be comfortable in that area. But remember, we, as a vocational training center, we tend to provide opportunities for young people to come and pick up a specific skill. Probably somebody may not have the money to go for a training, to take an automotive engineering course for a period of 4 or 5 years, whether you have a diploma or a degree. But you can give that opportunity to this young person to come and pursue a specific skill in that area. Probably do a skill in lighting system, for instance, or for instance, panel beating and spray painting, for instance. That's a skill. The reason why we are doing that is that if this young person does not want to undergo a training for a period of 4 years, probably he doesn't have the money, probably is put off by the long period of time that he has to go through the training to be able to acquire a degree or a diploma in that course. We provided that young person an opportunity to come here for a short period of time, acquire a specific skill in motor vehicle technology, for instance.
Okay.
Then in the process now, it becomes a stepping stone for that young person to continue growing in that area of specialization. And that is the case with all the courses that we offer. We offer various courses like metal processing technology. Metal processing technology, if somebody had to take you to maybe tell you to do a mechanical engineering course production, for instance, or maybe a mechanical engineering plant, or this at diploma level or degree level, we usually advise those young people, especially who are right from high school and have not got an opportunity to pursue directly to diploma.
Okay, we seem to be having a challenge right there with Yusufu. We'll definitely establish that, but I think his point is across in terms of technical and vocational training when they are separated. So as we continue with this conversation, Dixon, I think there's a challenge in terms of rebranding TVETs to make it attractive for the young people, because right now it's a fact that vocational training does not always have the same positive public image when it comes to university training as compared to university training in the country. You know, it might be thought that TVET is for failures, quote unquote, who didn't make it to university. So in terms of rebranding and giving out this positive image, what are institutions like the one you serve currently actually doing to allure better to this youthful generation that is set to benefit from TVETs?
Thank you, Mr. Rogers. That is perception, I'll say that. Because most people think that TVETers are that the students who go there, they're not the one who have made it to the university. At Orthodox College of Africa, I was surprised to find that I have got university students at my institution. Why? Most TVET courses are talent-oriented. This is something that is in a person. So you realize that most students, they went to the university to do certain courses, but they realize that I'm very good, I would like to do something. You see, young people are very funny. And when you visit this institution, you'll be shocked. Like in the Department of Department of Fashion and Design, I have got some students, when they close the schools for long holidays from the universities, they come and do fashion and design. Some are doing interior design. So if you look at that, it is showing you that perception is what people think when they're outside. But when you get in the system, you realize that it is different. And it has become more competitive. Courses like hairdressing and beauty. Most young people, they want to do things that, they would like to do things that they are comfortable doing. Not that one of sitting down and books, notes, and maybe more of theory. So most of them, they have a passion and they would like to follow some courses. And the good thing, they have been subsidized by the government. Like our institution, mostly it is a philanthropic because of the most sponsorship from His Eminence Bishop Macarius, who is really empowering young people to see them, they are going through these courses and they are getting it. So the way I said, Mr. Rogers, TVET don't need to rebrand. It sells itself through the products they are offering. And also these institutions, they are the ones that, the products they give, the quality, the processes they take students through, it is what makes now the institution to become attractive and their course to become attractive. As I said earlier, most young people, they are attracted to ICT, they are attracted to fashion and design, they are attracted to beauty. They want things, modeling, they like things that will make them to do something very fast, which will have got high returns. And young people, they are nurtured in a certain way. They don't want to be doing something for each and every day. It becomes monotonous for them. So, Mr. Rogers, as I have said, these young people, if you come to these institutions, the perception that people see when they're outside there is different. Look at when the colleges are open. You will see they are full. The numbers are increasing. Why? Because they are now talking to the needs of the young people of this nation.
Okay, well noted, Dixon. Thanks for highlighting that. As we continue with the conversation, Prof, perhaps you can expound on that particular question I had asked in terms of revamping the image. But as we do that, how exactly has the revamped TVET helped to cure unemployment amongst youth in the country? Because we have a burgeoning youthful population, on the other hand, not enough jobs. Even as we're pushing them to become employers, not employees, how exactly are we, closing in on the gap of unemployment in the country through TVETs?
Thank you very much. As I've said before, and from what my colleagues have been saying, TVET is the way to go. Government has put so many institutions to support the young people who have employable skills, who have entrepreneurial skills, who have the abilities and the skills that are required mashinani huko. You remember the government has put in the WESO Fund, the Women Enterprise Fund, and many other things. The situation right now compared to when I went to school in the 70s and 80s and 90s, very different. That time we didn't have a lot of this support system. And so to my young sons and daughters, fellow colleagues who are listening to me, opportunities are there. The other time I was in the village, that was about 2 years ago, I got a girl who had been staying at home for almost 4 years, and she was almost now getting too desperate. I took this girl, I brought her here to do some course. She had a D. And immediately after doing about 1.5 years, she went for attachment. And then before she finished attachment, she was able to get a job, working with her hand, working with the skills and the knowledge, the entrepreneurial skill he has got. Another one, which I did for saloon, again D, before she finished, she's already earning around 15,000, 20,000 a young person. That is so good money. Somebody who is not married, somebody who is less than 23 years old, a lot of money. The opportunities are there. TVET institution and vocational training have been brought in really to enhance and close the gap of this unemployment. You can get the jobs, you can get engaged in business, so many things. And so you can also, create your own job. And so at Mary University of Science and Technology, where we decided to register a TVET institution to offer programs in agriculture, diploma and certificate in agriculture, in horticultural production, in agricultural extension, in agripreneurship, in food science and beverages, in business management, in supply chain management, and mechatronic engineering, mechanical engineering, automotive engineering, name it. All of them, certificate and diploma.
Okay.
Most of my students, we train them that they can go and transform the industries by the skills they have learned. So that is happening. Some of them, quite a number of them, almost 50, 60, 70% get jobs. The others go back and start their own jobs using the skills they have learned. And we prepare them this. When they are here, they also go to the industries for attachment, for internship. Like now, if you Google NAM, N-A-M, I have about over 15 students in agriculture doing internship and attachment on how to grow do the greenhouse farming. Let me tell you, immediately they live there. These boys and girls are psyched. They can start their own agricultural production.
Okay.
They can start doing their own farm. So TVET institution is the way to go. And I invite you people, all of us Kenyans, really to sponsor students. There's no failure. Even people who have got E can go to vocational training and be trained and get something. There is opportunity for everyone.
All right,
they are
Professor.
not failures. Thank you very much.
Okay, so there's definitely opportunity. Allow us to take a short break on that particular note. When we come back, we finalize on this all-important discussion. The opportunities are there, so it's up to us to go ahead and grab as the youth in society. We'll be back.